They were traumatized because they were covered with blood.
A 1,000-foot descent into a historic gold mine becomes a waking nightmare, leaving tourists helplessly trapped underground. The following footage has never been seen before. In Cripple Creek, Colorado, on the afternoon of October 10, 2024, an elevator carrying men, women, and children began its descent into the Molly Kathleen gold mine for its third tour of the day. But halfway down...
Alright gang, so if y'all want merch, this is my merch, Maison Rex. We got t-shirts, all different types of colors, you know, polo shirts, sweatshirts, like hoodies and stuff. We got, you know, the girl hoodies, the crop hoodies. We got some hats. We got some beanies, some backpacks. Link in the description. Yeah, let's get back to the video.
Down at nearly 500 feet below the surface, the elevator ground to a sudden halt. No one on the surface knew what had happened until a woman began screaming from the depths. She emerged from the shaft after climbing the ladder lining its walls, physically exhausted, claiming that someone was dead. After a 911 call, deputies quickly arrived to assess the situation.
How many traps?
Well, you got 11 at 500 feet, and then there's another group at 1,000 feet.
How many do we know down there?
We think it's going to be 25 total. And you got one confirmed deceased made at 500 feet. He's
Fell off the top.
He was an employee. Yeah, he's at the yacht.
Yeah.
The deceased employee is later identified as the group's tour guide, 46-year-old Patrick Walter Wire. Though the deputies assumed that he fell from the shaft's opening, Patrick was actually inside the elevator with the tour group at the time of their descent. What led to his death is far more horrifying than a fall, and witness accounts will soon paint a terrifying picture of his final moments. For now, nearly a dozen tourists, including 2 young children, remain trapped with his body beneath the surface.
Who's this girl that's sitting over there?
She's one who got up.
They called? How did she get out? In the basket?
Covered in blood from the guy who fell to 500 feet.
Trent, the manager of the mine, is currently down below, helping the hoist operator as the elevator is slowly raised 100 feet at a time. The shaft is almost completely dark, and with no way of knowing what will emerge from below, rescuers hang a white sheet around the loading bay to shield bystanders from a sight that could leave them forever scarred. The single sheet, however, won't be enough to protect anyone from what they're about to see. As the elevator nears the surface, rescue workers brace for the possibility that the freed tourists will panic.
So if this gets chaotic, everybody, Chris is going to tell people not to step over this edge. That's
25 to 30 feet.
Terry, everything else goes through Terry.
You guys should be able to see it now.
So don't listen to me, don't listen to the cops, don't listen to whatever. Just do what Terry says so we can assess people.
We got it. We got people in the basket. You're going, yeah.
All right, so remember, some of them are going to come from above. Step from this way. It's the yeah. These are heavy. How do we get them out of that second car? Comes down the stairs.
The tourists that emerge from the lower compartment are in a shocking state, with their clothes and hard hats soaked in blood. Those in the upper level must wait for their turn to exit, and it quickly becomes clear why there's panic in their voices.
We're gonna get you. Hold on. It's okay. Hold on.
Everybody's clear from the bottom basket.
We got more up. 5 up there. 5 up there.
We got 5 in the top basket.
9 total. 7 deceased.
Who's left down below? Anybody left down below? Okay.
Have you ever wanted to see your home from space? With this free satellite Earth Maps tool, you can zoom right down to your exact address
Once the tourists are out, all that remains in the upper compartment is the mangled body of Patrick Wire, his twisted, broken form pointing to an unimaginably horrific death.
Damn.
What's even more chilling is the fact that he was in the lower compartment when the elevator began its descent. Not yet aware of what caused his demise and unclear on the safety of the elevator, deputies are now left with the realization that there's a second group of tourists still in the mine 1,000 feet below, with no way to bring them out.
Trent is still down there with the whole other group. Trent's probably going down by ladder because he went to the 500 level to get this up.
Okay, so this did fall. What's the deal with that? That's what we were told.
He's the host.
Get the fuck out the screen.
He don't know what happened. He said there's a loud
Red
bang,
boy.
so it was stopped.
As news of a tragedy at the mine starts to spread, Patrick's loved ones begin frantic attempts to call and text, unaware of what happened to him. But as the witnesses are far too traumatized to coherently explain, first responders are left with only pieces of the full
Hey, I apologize. I ain't know that red bar was down there. I apologize.
story.
I heard that there was something to separate that pocket. So
I'm not sure. There's a finger on these doors over the two. It's going Grimes did something stupid.
what did you do?
I think see how the doors are down.
The doors to each compartment are designed to be held in place by a metal latch, which prevents it from opening during the descent. But the door to the lower compartment has been torn off completely.
So the initial story got is one of the first guys in the elevator door. If you go to more conversation taking place, it sounds like a low that he was in the upper escalator this study. Yeah, he was in the upper basement with 5 other people and he was deceased. The lower basketballs were like 4 or 5 people to 4 and they were traumatized because they were covered in for what 20 minutes.
And these are the doors that came off his elevator? Yeah.
I think on the lower elevator.
But it wasn't until the witnesses are able to calmly recount the terrifying ordeal that the truth of what happened finally falls into place. As the tour began, 7 people, including 2 children, were loaded into the upper compartment. It was then raised, allowing the remaining tourists to enter the lower section. Many noticed that it was cramped inside when Patrick himself got on, and that he struggled to close the door, attempting and failing several times. A woman suggested that Patrick try to reload the carts as there was more room in the compartment above them. But by her account, he ignored the concerns. Eventually, Patrick managed to close the door and signaled to the hoist operator to begin their descent. But due to how packed it was in the lower compartment, the latch wasn't properly secured, causing the door to catch on the wall of the mine shaft at around 500 feet, where it began ripping from the frame and scraping along the wall. Witnesses recall hearing Patrick begin to shout, "I can't stop it, oh. Patrick then reached for the bell that would signal the hoist operator to stop the elevator, ringing it several times. But as he did so, he fell, his body slipping into the small space between the wooden wall and the elevator's frame. His body ricocheted, and as the elevator continued moving downward, he was dragged upward along the wall. As a result, Patrick suffered catastrophic injuries, including severe trauma to the back of his head, a crushed rib cage, detached heart, severed spleen, and a broken neck. No one could remember hearing Patrick scream, leading them to assume his death was instant. But while the traumatic moment ended quickly for Patrick, it was only beginning for those still trapped inside. As the elevator continued to descend and Patrick was dragged upward, his body was forced into the upper compartment, landing on a helpless woman and knocking her to the ground. But in the pitch-black darkness of the shaft, no one was aware of what had pinned her down. Several tourists pulled out their cell phones to use as flashlights, and in a moment of pure horror, they...
Am I tripping or is this bitch just good? I mean, I know it's fucked up what happened, but damn. That's so fucked up.
clearly saw the brutalized
That's so
body
fucked
of their
up.
tour guide. The two children began to panic, with one asking their dad to check if he was okay, but it was clear that Patrick was deceased. Those in the compartment below had no idea what happened and began to shout, saying the tour guide had gone missing. The
This shit
children's
just
mother
shocking
eerily
me.
explained,
I ain't gonna lie,
"He's
this
in
shit just
here." Though her words left them
That shit
confused, the truth of her statement would quickly become apparent to everyone below, as blood from Patrick's body began seeping through the floor, raining onto their hard hats and soaking their faces and clothes. With no cell service to call 911, 3 women from the upper level began to climb the ladder lining the shaft to reach the surface and find help. Those who were left behind, including the 2 children, remained trapped with Patrick's body until their rescue. Many of the tourists were taken to the hospital for treatment after suffering injuries during the ordeal, including the woman who was pinned by Patrick's lifeless body. The cause of the accident was ultimately determined to be operator error, and after Patrick's body was removed from the elevator, it was deemed safe to use, allowing rescuers to bring the second tour group to the surface.
On a horrible thing we did on vacation.
Although the mine passed a safety and compliance inspection in December of 2024, clearing it to reopen, the Molly Kathleen mine remains closed to tourists for the foreseeable future. Its website now thanks visitors for the many years they allowed them to share Colorado history. As 46-year-old Patrick Wire was a former United States Airman, a memorial procession was held in downtown Cripple Creek to honor his life and service. A GoFundMe established by Patrick's brother raised over $74,000, funds dedicated to supporting the future of Patrick's 7-year-old son. Watch our full videos as they were originally made, with no randomly muted words or details cut. We've also dropped brand new eWoo videos available only on eWoo Plus. Available now on iOS, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple
That shit was
TV,
crazy.
and Google TV. Download eWoo Plus and see what you've been missing.